Hi guys, Reptile Rich isn't here today. This is Mr. Bowser filling in for him. Give me all the crickets! What's up all you cool snakes and neonates? How's it going? I hope you're all keeping well. Reptile Rich and Bowser here today. How's it going? So, got a little bit of a gecko special for you guys. We are going to try and catch some gecko feedings. We've got some maintenance to do and some cleaning to do. I've got a couple of little tricks and tips for you guys in this one as well. Okay, I'm going to try and catch him feeding on camera because it's really cute. He wiggles his bum like a cat and pounces on the crickets when he sees them. So hopefully we're going to catch that on camera. This here is of course Bowser, our little African fat-tailed gecko. He is looking a little grey just now. That's not because he's old, that is because he's actually in shed. He is sort of preparing and separating that old skin to that new skin, and that is why he is looking a little bit grey right now. Isn't it, my handsome little man? Bowser here is of course an animal ambassador. He goes to kids' parties and schools and things like that, and educates and inspires the younger generations, and to be honest with you, even the older generations at times as well. Fun fact about the African fat-tailed gecko. So when threatened, they drop their tail like many other species of gecko. But unlike other species of gecko, when they grow their tail back, it grows back to look like a head on the other end of the body. Isn't that pretty cool? They're also one of few species of geckos that have eyelids. Just like the leopard gecko, they can blink. Many other species of gecko will lick their eyes to clean them and hydrate them. And you can see those tiny little paws on them. They are no use for climbing. Unlike the other geckos we have here at the Reptile Rich household, these guys are terrestrial, meaning that they live on the ground. Or spend most of their time on the ground. They are not good climbers. Isn't he so cute? That is little Bowser. Okay guys, let's go and get into some gecko maintenance. So as you guys can see, the glass on these enclosures are full of poop. They are very dirty. So first up, we have the African leaftails enclosure. The front isn't that bad. I'll clean it up anyway. But I'll show you a little tip when we get in here. But first, let's get the little fella out. Here he is, right here. Gotta be very careful when I've got him out because he is not the steadiest of climbers. He doesn't hold on very well. He can fall quite easily. But here he is in all of his glory. Isn't that a stunning little lizard there? Crazy. He's got a little bit of stuck shed on the tips of his toes. So that tells me he needs his humidity up a little bit, which I was very aware of. So that's something we're about to get into in a second and resurrect, and I'll show you exactly how I resurrect that and how I go about modifying my humidities in my enclosures. It's an amazing little animal though, isn't it? Just climbing about there. Beautiful. Right, we'll pop him in a holding receptacle and get some cleaning done. Or try and get some cleaning done. I'll try not marvel at him too much. He's just such a cool little lizard. Stunning little animal. You're so cute. You're just so good. Where are you going? You guys like that background I made? That was pretty cool. There's a couple of pictures of that. That's just some polystyrene with some slates and some bedding sort of sealed onto it. It was a background I made actually for this enclosure. I don't actually spray the animals per se, especially not the satanic. He doesn't actually like being sprayed directly onto. So you can see how his bedding is quite dry right now. You see it's dusty, it's dry. Certainly not what you would need for this species. So all I'm going to do is pile said bedding up, make a little hole, pour some water in. Humidity is currently at 55%. doing this, you'll see the humidity will go up to about 100% and then level out at about 60%. What I do is I just cycle this and I watch the humidity, and as soon as the humidity dies down to it goes to about 100% at nights, about 60% through the day. Once it dies down to about 55% through the day, I just rinse and repeat this process of just re-pouring water in, remixing the water in, and I do this on all my animals. The satanic leaf-tailed gecko is considered a sort of a specialist animal, is one of those animals that people get all hung up on. They have to be sprayed down 8 times a day and all this stuff, and they're quite hard to keep and all that kind of things, and really I just do this like once every couple of weeks, and you can see that our satanic is absolutely thriving, doing great, and that is with literally minimum care. Just doing this every now and then. I've seen him eating, I've seen him pooping, I've seen him shedding multiple times, and he's doing really well. He has been sprayed down about once since I got him, or twice, and that was how I figured out he really didn't like being sprayed down, especially with the colder water. So I just simply do this, and when I started doing this, the humidity was at 55%, and look at that, it's already lifting now. It'll level out at about 100% and then just sort of die down slowly. With the heat of this room, it'll evaporate. Remember, humidity is moisture in the air, it's not how wet everything is. You can't just soak everything and expect it to be humid. It's about getting that moisture slowly and steadily into the atmosphere, and that is what's soaking the bedding. You can see that's a lot better now. You can see it's more wet, it sticks together, it clumps together, a lot better. That's exactly what you want right there. So, there we go. Well, let's get stuff back in and pop him back in. So getting some close-ups of this little guy is not easy. He does not sit still very well. As you can see, he's one of these species of lizards, very like a chameleon. His colour is a good indication as to his mood, and he is normally very light, almost white. You can see in his pattern there are little green spots there that mimic the moss on a leaf. He physically looks like a leaf. It's so cool. Little jump. Cute little thing. So the satanic leaf-tailed gecko gets their name satanic from a couple of things. One, of course, are those horns above the eyes there. They look like little horns. So they look satanic. When they're angry or unhappy, they will go black with bright red eyes. And also, when they scream, they will also scream and sound like a baby screaming in pain. They have a very sort of unique and loud scream. I've never heard it, but I've heard of it. It's quite eerie like that. It's such a cool little species. We'll get him some food in there. Look at him licking his lips. He's a very avid hunter at night as well. He's very good at hunting down those little crickets that we give him. He's very good. I've seen him hunting a number of times. So he is liking those crickets. If he doesn't get that little bits of shed off his toes there, what I'll do is I'll put him in a little tub with some wet kitchen towel for maybe half an hour or something like that, and just soften it up and help get it off. But right now, upping the humidity is probably all we'll need to do for that. Such a cool little tiny gecko that. We'll try and pop him back. Handling him with 2 hands is often sketchy, let alone handling him with 1. There he goes. Back in his nice clean, glasses clean, bedding's refreshed. You can see that humidity has already settled back down to about 60%, which is fantastic. It'll rock up to about 100% tonight, even when we close these doors. There you go. And I'm about to do the same with the bedding on the next 2, and clean the glass on the next 2, and we'll get them out and have a little handle and a look at them too as well, the chahoua geckos. Now that right there was the satanic leaf-tailed gecko. Next up, we've got the chahoua geckos. A little bit more of a dirty species than the satanics. Their glass definitely needs a good clean. And it turns out the Night Fury here hasn't been catching all of his crickets. There are a couple still in there. They aren't the most accurate of strikers, and they are actually very clumsy when you watch them striking. They're not the greatest. Not sure how they survive in the wild, but yes, they're a little tricky to catch those crickets. It's actually very light right now after being in that tub for a little while. It's usually almost pitch black. If we are successful in breeding these guys, if there's a dark female produced, I would definitely look to rebreed her back to him and see if we can make a polymorphic sort of really dark, almost black chahoua gecko. That would be pretty cool. So when he's in his enclosure, he is pretty much pure black. When he comes out, sometimes he goes this much lighter coloration. Gearing up to jump right now. You see that prehensile tail there. The chahoua geckos actually have a prehensile tail. They can still drop their tail like other geckos, but their tail is largely prehensile. Some people hybridize these with crested geckos. Try to turn your head so that we can have a look at your beautiful eyes, Hanson. Oh, see those sticky pads on his paws there? Enable him to climb up the glass, although Dad's cleaned the glass. So he's currently sliding right back down it again. Slidey, slidey. Right, I need you off of there. And there's him trying to use that prehensile tail there. I need you off of there so that I can close that door. What are you doing down there? Off he pops. So let's close that one up. Let's move on to the female. Well, there goes all the nice clean glass. Pulling this girl out there, and she went full crazy mode and went for a run around, and I had to move all the little glass bibs we've just cleaned trying to get her. She went absolutely mental. These guys don't get handled an awful lot, and I often feed them off their hands, as you will hopefully see very soon. But usually when they see something they want to jump to, they'll jump to it. So they're not actually great for handling. They're rather crazy. Quite cool when you do have them out and you get them calming down. They're a very cool little lizard. As you can see, she's a lot lighter than he is. She's very pale in comparison. She's a very pretty little lizard. As much as she is crazy, she has bags more confidence than he does too. She's a better eater. Yes, there she goes. Let's pop her in the little holding cell and we'll get her enclosure cleaned up and refreshed. You're a silly girl. Yes, you are. That's better. That's better. There we go. Here we go. This is not easy to do. One person. There we go. She's calmed down amazingly now. Look at that. Those eyes. Beautiful eyes in the chahoua geckos. Yes, we've got male and female, so hopefully one day we will produce these little guys. Hit me up in the comments below if you guys would ever be interested in a reptile-rich chahoua gecko. You popped just now, sweetheart. No, you're happy just staying on Dad. You don't want to leave Dad now. There you go. So what this is, guys, this is just a blend of fruits with some gecko supplements in it, blended up, and then I find that the fruit blended alone is too thick for them. So I add in some water, basically to make it into a watery smoothie for them. Sorry, I swallowed juice down the wrong hole earlier and I'm still suffering from it. But yeah, look at that, she laps it up just like a dog. So I never used to put the water in it until I noticed her drinking like a dog. And of course her tongue would just push the fruit around, it wouldn't really pick it up. So what I did was added the water. And she scoops it up much better now. She drinks it all up and laps it up like that. Isn't that so cute? Sometimes a spoon feeder, but I like this method because number one, I get a hold, which is always awesome. I get a hold and she also gets a feed while being held. It also means that she unknowingly is realizing that handling isn't a bad thing. So when I'm being handled, I may get tasty milk, tasty treat to go along with it. Good catch by me. Whee! She's had enough of that. Come on. Calm. Slow. Slow. Would you like another sip before we put you back? So I usually pop this back in with her and she drinks it in her house. Crazy case. You're silly. Yes you are. You're just silly. Next up, we have the boy. He's normally a lot more jumpy than her. I'm trying to turn him so you guys can get a better view. But he's obviously wary of that filming lights right now because this is night time. I always feed these geckos at night. It's when they would normally eat. Seems to be when they want to eat. So I always feed them at the night time. I'll turn the lights off for a bit. Let them come out of hiding, let them wake up, and then do this with them. And sit and just chill out with my little gecks here. Just enjoying some of this. Now, these guys are spoilt. They only really eat this stuff once I've done this. And I'll pop them back in and they'll maybe have a few more mouthfuls of it. When it's inside. But yeah, they're absolutely spoilt. I've discovered recently Mr. Nubbins is exactly the same. I'll maybe do a future episode of that very soon. But Mr. Nubbins likes to be hand-fed from his throne too. I think we'll put that in a future episode because everyone likes a bit of Mr. Nubbins. Oh, we'll get a bit of him in there. Is that you done? Isn't he handsome? I think he's got some up his nose. So this is Night Fury. This is the male who's almost pure black. He's an absolute beautiful chahoua gecko. He's a handsome man, he's got a big block head on him. He is just beautiful. Couple of geckos with full tummies in their nice clean enclosures. Just what I like to see. So I pulled all his stuff out because he is in there. His water is that colour because he persists on putting his bedding in it every 10 minutes. But water day is tomorrow, so he'll get clean fresh water tomorrow. You can see he is still in shed. He usually goes into that hide, which is where he just was when he's going to shed. Let's see if we can give him some bugs and beasties and see if we can get this cheeky man pouncing. Another tail wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Sometimes he gets so excited his bum goes right up in the air like a cat playing with a toy. I was hoping to catch that today, but we'll give him a couple more crickets than this. Oh, I am a little worried about him ingesting this substrate. The substrate is only temporary. I am going to put him on actual cocoa bedding very soon. But it hasn't caused him any problems yet. But I am going to change his substrate out, guys, before anyone picks up on that barky substrate. That is not great for African fat-tailed geckos. It's just what I had at the time and I threw in. Ooh! There we go, he got it. I think he headbutted the wall, but he got it. Good boy. Let's get him another one. You're so cute! You're such a cute little man. With all those poops though Dad needs to clean up. That's my worry with that bedding. But he does know to spit it back out again, just like that. They're not daft. And I mean, what would they do in the wild if they had a bit of bark in their mouth? It's not vital, but I will get him on proper bedding very soon. This is great mental stimulation for him. This is great for getting his mind going. Also to get him hunting as well, and get his body moving around. He did it good. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? Nom nom nom. Brilliant. Epic stuff. Right, I'll leave you to it, mate. See you in the morning. You bundle of cuteness. Look at you. You're so cute. So hope you guys all enjoyed that. As always, like, subscribe, comment, share the channel around, hit the bell button. You guys know what you're doing, you awesome bunch. Take it easy. From me and Bowser and the rest of the geckos, peace.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Stop it. Stop trying to jump into the beard there.